everyone, Jaimie Madison here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be playing with the Simon Says Stamp September kit. This is the Mermaid stamp set, and we're going to be using this mermaid at the very bottom left hand corner. I'm going to go ahead and stamp this on some Bristol smooth paper. This is 300, and I am going to prep my paper as well with some anti-static powder. I'm using the VersaFine and Onyx Black ink, and I'm going to stamp that twice. I did recently buy some Simon Says Stamp ink as well to give that a try on this Bristol smooth paper. I'm going to go in with my Recollections in clear, and I'm going to heat emboss that mermaid in that clear embossing powder. This is so whenever I'm going through with my watercolors, for one, it helps keep everything in the lines, and it also keeps the ink from smearing on this paper. Then I'm going to go in with a post-it note. I did not have my stamping paper yet, so I was not able to use that to mask this off, so I just used a post-it note and I just taped that down. And I just stamped her lower half because that's all I needed for this card was her lower half stamped off. It wasn't going to go up above. So I went ahead and masked off just her hair and her tail and all that. And I'm going to stamp these coral reefs as well with that VersaFine. Then I took just a tiny little piece of Post-it and I just put that over this tiny little reef area here. And this is why it's really good to use masking paper instead of a Post-it note, is because when I pulled it up, it took the little piece and I just went ahead and put my ink over, and then I just pulled that little piece off and it kept the ink from where I was wanting it to go anyways, so I didn't remask it. I figured it would just be fine, and it did turn out just fine. Went ahead and removed that mask, and now I have those coral reefs behind my mermaid. I did heat emboss this as well in clear. Anytime I use that VersaFine on my Bristol smooth paper, I always heat emboss either black or clear embossing powder. Like I said, this ink just smears on this paper. So I'm hoping to get better luck with the Simon Says Stamp ink. Now I'm going to go in with my Arteza markers, and I'm using my water pen as well. The colors are going to be listed at the very top of your left-hand side of the screen. So this is 175 Pale Skin, and I did this really, really lightly because I didn't want, when I added the color of her hair, to be too vibrant. I wanted these to be really cool tones. So I didn't go in really deep with the skin tone color. I just blended that through with my Arteza water pen. I really enjoyed these water pens. I just got them recently, and they're really good. I really like them. I like this one the best. It has a very fine tip on it, so it's really good for those detailed areas. So with this mermaid, I was trying to think of something that hasn't been done yet. The only thing with the kits are, when the kits come out, you have the creators that do a whole bunch of cards. The only problem with that is they take a lot of the ideas that are that you first think of with these kits, and it doesn't give you a lot of wiggle room to play around with without looking like you're copying off of the creators. So I was trying to go outside the box and do something that I hadn't seen yet. You know, with a stamp set, you only can do so many things with the one image. So I was trying to make sure that I didn't do something that someone else has already done or very close to. But back onto the mermaid here, I went in with 143 Parma Gray and 115 Smoke Gray. The Parma Gray I went through pretty much her whole hair with. It's like a really light blue gray. And then I went through with the Smoke Gray to do some deeper shadowing. I really wanted her to have gray hair. I figured with the gray hair it would make her skin tone come out more as well, since I went so light with her skin tone. But I really wanted to do something not vibrant with her, because you think of mermaids, you think of pinks and purples and blues and, you know, shimmery colors. I wanted to do something more soft, and so I went with gray for her hair, and I really enjoy the way this turned out. I really like it. So I just went through with my Arteza brush pen and blended all of those colors together. And then I went in with my 124 Apricot and just did her seashells for her bikini and her seashell that is in her hair as well with that apricot. I also went through with that apricot and just put a little bit for her blush of her cheeks. For this mermaid, I only ended up using 5 colors for her herself, and then one other color for the ground. So 6 colors total for this whole mermaid. I didn't want to go with too many colors, but this 145, this fresh green, I really like this color. This color comes off as a blue-green. So where you put the lines at is more green, and then where you blend it out, it almost has like a blue tint to it. I thought that would go really good with the gray and the apricot. I thought they would play well together. So with the 137 in Tawny, I went through and did the same thing that I did with the fin. I just did the deeper color and then blended it out. I like to go dark to light. What I wanted to do was I wanted this to look more like a sand color. I didn't want it to be too brownish. And I thought the Tawny would really look good for that look that I was looking for, and to keep things light and not go too dark. So then I went back in with that 124 in apricot and did the coral. Now the coral was a little bit tricky in the end because I did end up fussy cutting out the coral, and that was a job. But I really liked the way it turned out, and I think it was worth it. So I went ahead and took my Micron pen and drew a background for the sea because I wanted to cut this out and have her popped up with a background. And then I went in with that 137, again that tawny, and just colored that all in. So when I started on this card, funny story was I was having my fridge delivered that day, and they were supposed to call me and tell me when they were going to be there. And right when I got towards the ground is when they showed up, and I had to leave my painting. So when I came back in to add my tawny again at the very bottom, the paper was already dried and it wasn't blending very well. But yeah, I never got a phone call saying that my fridge was being delivered and it was on its way. So they came out of pure surprise. I was running around the house trying to get everything moved out of the way. And my dog, she recently, last year, I guess, not recently anymore, but she still is recovering. It's kind of like a very long process. She had her knee replaced. So we have running rugs going all through the house because we have hardwood floors, and she cannot slip or fall because she could damage her knee again. So I'm trying to run through the house picking up all of the rugs, and that was just a big hassle. So I tried to reblend out the ground. I did get a little bit of a harsh line, but it wasn't too bad. I want to show you guys this paper pad that I picked up. This is Mermaid, and I just picked out 2 little colors and went ahead and die cut those with my Gina Marie die cuts that I recently got. I used the largest size of both die cuts. With these die cuts, they don't have an outside stitching as the rest of them do, so the largest die cut only has the stitching on the inside. So just a heads up with that. But I used both of these large die cuts to do these cuts for these papers. Now you don't have to do, colored paper, but I would recommend, if you guys have a Michaels near you, to pick up this Mermaid paper pack. It is gorgeous. There's so many ideas that you could do with this paper pack, and I did do a small little haul that I will be posting here in a couple days, and I go through all the pages of that Mermaid paper pack as well. But I think it's a great deal, and especially if you can get like one of those Michael coupons that they always have running around, it would save you, some money on it as well, which I think is worth it. So I went ahead and adhered that onto my Michael 110 pound cardstock with my double-sided ATG runner. And then I took my mermaid after I fussy cutted her out. As you can see, all that coral is fussy cutted out as well. That was, like I said, a job, but I felt like it was worth it. I think the outcome was well worth it. And I did not put any tape or foam on the coral. I kind of wanted that to be free moving. And then I went in with a piece of navy blue cardstock. I used my powder tool as well and really powdered that up. And I stamped that Beauty Comes From Within. And I used embossing powder. This is just a white embossing powder. And I heat embossed that. And then I was going to pop that up on my card with some double foam tape as well. I did use a rectangle die cut as well. This is the stitch die cut from Gina Marie. So I have the rectangle, circle, and square now. And I used the rectangle for the smallest one for this sentiment. And then I just adhered that onto the card. I went ahead and took my Wink of Stella and went all through the sentiment box that I did to get some glitter up there at the top. This is just in clear. Then I went ahead and took my white Jelly Roll pen. This is in number 10. And I just went and added a little bit of details on her fin and in her hair, just where the light would be reflecting with her being in the water. Went ahead and gave her some shimmer in her eyes, on her seashells, and in her hair as well. So that about finishes up the card. I went ahead and of course added some sequins because you guys know I can't finish my card usually without sequins or some gems. And these sequins are from Simon Says Stamp. I'll list them down below. I can't remember the name of them. I think they're lemonade, but I could be wrong. Like pink lemonade maybe. But I'll look at them and I'll list them down below. So I just used a little bit of the pink and yellow that come in the sequence set and just adhered those on my card. And after that, my card is all done. I did 2 of these cards, one with the coral and one without the coral. So here they both are. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. I appreciate you guys coming by, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!